definitely in this game.
Okay,
sure.
great.
Yeah.
Let's get into the game. So, Into the Breach are 5-0, Jenkins, in case you're wondering.
They are.
And
I wasn't.
Do you know the other record that we're going against?
1-4.
Okay, very good. So 11MONKEYZ, which I do have a question. Why is it? Do we know why it's 11MONKEYZ and not 12?
Is the movie 12 Monkeys?
Yes, it's 12, and the show, which was terrible. I would not recommend it, but that is 12MONKEYZ.
Where did the 12th one go?
I don't know.
I mean, monkeys don't live very long. So.
You are living proof that that is not true.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna see the smoke.
Very rude.
What a great game full of high skill players.
From 11MONKEYZ. So talk to me about these lineups. So we're going to see Marcy like we do every single game, which I'm still questioning why this hero isn't banned every single game.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It seems very good right now.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like there's just not enough bans in the first phase. Like, you really have... Like, a lot of teams have, like, 2 or 3 specialty heroes that you have to ban, and then Marcy just kind of gets through. And for most people, Marcy's not a specialty hero because she's just so, like, ubiquitously good that nobody specializes in it because everybody plays it, you know? So, it's, yeah, it's, I mean, I'm surprised it didn't get banned more either because I do think it's the best hero in Dota. As we can see why
rebound, but, actually does set up the LSA, and they're going to block him pretty nicely with Kadaro. Soul Assumption, just barely living through that thanks to the Nature's Attendance, which has a crazy cosmetic applied to it.
It's really not that
it's
crazy.
It's really a crazy cosmetic.
There's a lot crazier
very high value cosmetic.
Yes, he's walking back to Fountain, by the way. He's going to get to the lane a little bit late, but that's the nice thing about playing in the safe lane. Creeps are right in front of your tower.
Yeah.
You're more than happy to...
Are you okay with the Nature's Attendance level 1?
Yeah. No, I think, I mean, people do that often these days just because of the salve nerf, right? So... it's just any healing spell level 1 is incredibly valuable, and people were going for that before too. Like Dubu does that every single game on Enchantress, and he's the Ench god, you know, at least in the region we usually cover. He's the goat.
That is true. ZYZZ getting harassed a bit by Kadaro, who's now come back to the lane, as you mentioned. So position 1 Bloodseeker this game for Into the Breach, and 11MONKEYZ with the Dawnbreaker. I love Dawnbreaker as one. At TI, we saw it used a lot, and it had a very low win rate.
Yeah.
So people kind of just stopped picking it in that position. I mean, has anything changed since then? Like, they've had some tweaks to Dawnbreaker, but nothing massive.
I think they tweaked the Q where it's a lot easier to hit, and that's like the carry ability, right? So Deso's also been changed. People are going Deso, and now you like gain stacks on the Deso, gain more damage, and this is an early fighting hero, so a hero very capable of gaining said damage. So I think there's like quite a few things that have changed. Also, the hero's just better now as well. Laning also, like the level 2, level 3 power spike is more important on like any hero because of the salve nerfs. So if you can like have a really strong level 2 or 3 and you push the enemies out and you force them to use like a salve on the carry, you just win the lane, right? Or a salve on the offlaner. It feels really bad to share salves.
It also helps to have a very thick body. Same with Marcy, like 2 strength heroes that just scale really well, have a lot of HP. And if you remember when Dawnbreaker was first introduced, had a very low win rate. So the way to buff her,
all the stats,
was to give a buttload of strength specifically.
Yeah, they both have like insane stat gains and base stats too. Like 310 move speed, like come on, on a hero that honestly feels like definitely Dawnbreaker feels clunkier than Marcy in terms of like hitting the spells, getting around. When you're comparing to Marcy, and then you look at it's like 310 move speed. Like what the hell? Like she's actually very quick.
Yep. Oh, we're gonna see a toss back into a lot of Eidolons, but Mary only gonna take a little bit of damage here. So just looking at the lineups without the prejudice, I guess you could put it as, between the 2 teams themselves, we just delete the icons up there. What lineup would you actually prefer playing?
Which one would I prefer? I mean, I think a lot of Dota these days is based on like specialty heroes and player preference. I don't think it's really hard to say like what hero wins late game these days, because like Bloodseeker, for example, this used to be considered a very early game carry, but with the Shard, like you actually do pretty insane late game damage between like Shard and Basher and the items that you have. Enigma as well, you know, this is like an offlaner, but your late game's incredible because of this percentage damage. You black hole, BKB piercing as the TP comes in.
Yep, Stoikov might be in some trouble.
He's very deep.
See Ari with the toss, and Stoikov has to just stand his ground with the LSA, knowing that he's likely going to die. Actually pops a couple bottle charges. Supreme gets off the win run at the last second, and first blood goes the way of Ari and into the breach as a whole.
And that was just some insane dives from the Lina there. You know, in a pure 1v1.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Well, it looks like it's evened up just slightly thanks to the rebound from ZYZZ.
Yep. Oh.
Ziz, is that fine?
I think it's Ziz. I mean, there's the, you know, have you seen the jacked guy, the meme guy, Ziz?
No.
You've never seen that guy?
I don't look at memes.
Okay, well, that's good.
That just abruptly ends that conversation.
Probably shouldn't anyway. That's...
As we're going to see the rebound here. So Supreme just a little bit overconfident. But there was he actually dropped the item on his ground, on the ground apparently.
Very rude.
Yeah. A lot of bad blood between these two teams,
yeah,
of course.
Of course.
Just made that up completely.
Ziz and Supreme are mortal enemies, actually.
Yeah, that's right. But into the breach, obviously, I would say, I mean, both teams want to win, obviously. That goes without saying.
Really?
But into the breach, they're in pretty good position. They haven't played Enigma Galaxy yet, but they're still slated to get top 2 pretty much no matter what. They're just trying to pad their stats, if nothing else. And 11MONKEYZ just trying to avoid the bot, too. So, very important games.
They don't want to get that relegation.
Oh, we got the Hurricane. No setup afterwards. You can see the power shot doing quite a bit of damage, but Marcy's coming in for the TP. LSA, rebound, dispose, back into the tower again. As you can see, the sidekick used on Stoikov. Trying to finish off Supreme, but it looks like he's going to get away just fine. Meanwhile, this Wild Wind Ripper is still just applying so much pressure to Stoikov and company.
The courier goes down. I mean, it's an interesting gank. Like, you always want to go to the mid lane as Ench at 5 minutes with that catapult. But he's rotating to a lane with a hero that doesn't have Shackle. It's actually level 3 in Wind Run for Supreme. Just playing entirely to, like, maximize the lane as opposed to, like, have any, you know, gank threat. So it's one of those things where, like, the timings of these heroes just are not matching up with the builds that they've done, unfortunately. Otherwise, I think that's a decent gank from ITB. I mean, it does force people to go mid.
Oh, win run just in time to avoid the dispose as Supreme harassing Ziz now. But you can see in terms of just the CS as Haster's going to be stolen here. The Tomatoes following Stoikov as well. See if we can get the blocks off with the Enchantress. But you can see Marcy in the area, gets off the dispose on his teammate, rebound to give him some extra move speed, and a TP coming in the form of the Phoenix. Now the dive, avalanche there from Ari. Is that going to give him enough time to get away? Looks like he'll do just that. But, I mean, look at the mid-CS. Lina 42-3, Windrunner 28-2, so a massive disadvantage for Into the Breach in the mid lane in terms of just pure CS. As we can see, Bloodright coming in and just having to stand his ground on Visage, but just not really standing a chance here. So easy kill for Into the Breach. But if you look at the net worth, though, between Lina and Windrunner, it's not really that different considering the CS discrepancy.
How the hell is that?
Must have been a lot of regen, and
yeah,
I mean, there was a couple kills mid, I guess.
Just one, though.
You can see Rupture on Ziz. He's
he tried, yeah, he tried.
The rebound. Good attempt.
At least take somebody down with them. That's what the attempt was there.
Yeah. His bot lane, Mary, looks like he's going to drop. As Zube is ticking slowly, but the Head and Shoulders will keep him alive.
Of course.
Anybody with massive dandruff, I would recommend that. Make sure you don't use it too often because then it actually causes dandruff at a certain point.
Yeah, but it is for your hair, not for that bodily consumption.
Right.
As we saw there.
Well, I know he's doing pretty well.
Okay, that's right. I mean, he does have a nice head of hair. That's right. I shouldn't knock it till I try it. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so yeah, if you use maybe Head and Shoulders once a week, I would say. Because you're supposed to shampoo half the time. If you're showering every day, you shampoo half the time.
So if I shower 5 times a day, I should be Head and Shoulders 2.5.
All right, well, if you're showering that often, then you need to look into your other issues, I think. As we're going to see the Solar Guardian toss back into the Windrunner. LSA going to connect. And Laguna Blade is enough, actually. So nice rotation from Palatimus on this position 1 Dawnbreaker. And that was my next question about Dawnbreaker, is as a position 1, obviously the ult, it feels more in tune with like a mid, because you're ganking, you know, fast relocation. But when you're going mid as the position 1, when you're in your safe lane just farming away, like what's the...
I actually
has to be a struggle there.
I actually think the opposite, as there's nobody to rebound off of, so I think Ziz is... Yeah, he's going to go down. I think it's the opposite. I think it's great as a carry because you can farm anywhere and always get to your team. Like, that's the way, like, it's a different perspective on the same thing, right?
That's past the laning stage, though. That's more like a...
Well,
it's almost like a Spectre, right?
Yeah, it's like a Spectre. You can ult mid and then just TP back bot, right? It doesn't use a TP or something, so you can just go back wherever you came from.
Okay. Of course, the difference is Dawnbreaker can farm a lot better than Spectre.
That's right, and then also it probably is more useful in the late game than the Spectre. In fact, better at almost everything.
Is it better than Haunt late game? I don't know about that.
That is a pretty OP hero, man. I don't know.
I mean, you have to get set up, right? Haunt, you don't need anybody.
Have you been Starbreakered in the late game by this sack of shit lately? Because I have.
She's good.
And it does so much damage if you get a crit on one of those swipes, which of course is bound to happen if you're,
Yeah. Crit as in luminosity?
The luminosity crit, yeah. I mean, you're gonna people, preemptively make sure that's going on like swipe 1, so that way they get the next crit afterwards. It's like, it's very strong. Okay, Supreme now has the shackle. A lot of this mid rotation that's been happening has been without the shackle, and it's kind of felt like it's good pressure, but like fake pressure. It's like, we're gonna get you, but with no stun on the Windrunner, it's like there's not actually any kill threat.
Yeah, and I mean,
but now he's got it.
Scoreline's only 5-2, but Into the Breach already with a 3K net worth lead, and we see this a lot of times when there's teams with kind of an imbalance of skill, which I think we can say that is the case. We're looking at the top and bottom of Div 2 right now.
Yep.
So just able to get... I mean, a lot of these teams are just min-max like the farming department, so the laning stage just feels like it wins a lot of games for these teams when there's that big difference between skill, but you see Supreme getting close to Maelstrom on the mid-Wind Ranger. And for Lina, going straight BKB. So first item, BKB choice.
No travels this time.
That's against Black Hole. It's against Rupture, Focus Fire. A lot goes through this.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's so she can just like stop and kill the egg in these fights. That's the idea.
We got the Solar Guardian coming, and that's going to lead to a nice kill onto this Bloodseeker. Well, I say that now. He gets the Rupture off and the Pig Pull, but the hammer is there just enough to take him out, but it's a 1-for-1 for the position 3 Visage. As you can see, Sunray onto Supreme, but able to win run away, and will be just fine. But lots of rotations from both sides.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, that means Enigma, bottom, totally free farm. Not exactly a hero you want to leave, totally free farming. Very strong in the late game.
Oh, we had the Dispose on Ahri. Gets off his toss, but when the Avalanche actually disrupts the Starbreaker, but delays the inevitable, which is another kill going the way of 11MONKEYZ.
This is good. This is good, by the way. I don't want to make it sound like, Enigma's farming bot, it's bad. This is great for 11MONKEYZ because I think they need to take the Dawnbreaker and Lina's net worth and like translate it into getting their Visage back into the game, getting these supports who have been, running around, like the Marcy has been running around a lot in the early game, not really like taking a lane, getting levels. Like the supports are pretty behind on 11MONKEYZ. Let me see what the difference is between. I mean, there's not a huge difference between their supports and the enemy supports, but like this Visage is the big net worth differentiator. If you look at Z-Bay on the other side, it's 2,000 gold ahead, right? So Visage needs to be caught up, and the way that you do that is you have your Lina, who is having a good game and is empowered. You have her go do stuff. You have the Dawnbreaker go do stuff. So this is what they need to do, for sure.
Yep, so that's a tier 1 tower for 11MONKEYZ. As it looks like Palantino's not going for the Deso, but the Echo Saber, which we'll talk about in just a moment, is Zube. He's going to get disposed. And Otakar is here. Does he actually want to fight? The Laguna Blade was used to take out Zube. And the egg. Okay, they get the LSA onto 2. Is this enough to protect the egg? And the dispose on top of it. Beautifully done. Double kill for Mary. That's 3 kills overall for 11MONKEYZ. As it looks like Ahri should be able to get out just fine, but that cost a lot.
I'm realizing now that Lina is on the same team as Phoenix, and I said that he's going to BKB and kill the egg.
Oh, that just shows how much I was listening.
You didn't even notice. Oh, no.
It's okay. We've been there many times. There's a rebound. Looking onto the kill for Kadaro. He's going to be super tanky, but he is horribly outnumbered right now. Another dispose back into the arms of his team. He is so tanky. All right, finally drops as Palantimos gets credit for that one. But yeah, let's talk about, as we're going to see the replay here. This LSA was fight winning for sure. The egg about a couple hits away.
Yeah, that's nice.
And the dispose came right after as well.
And the dispose hits 2 targets as well, right? It's like if either of those abilities does not hit 2 targets, as we see the great reaction.
All right. That's a nice looking room.
It's all the same room. They're all in the same one. I think it looks like some murder basement sort of situation.
That specific angle had like art, like it was just jerseys or whatever.
It looks like a murder basement mixed with like a 50-year-old dad's like sports memorabilia like den, like
a
the man
sports
den.
memorabilia murder den.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's the vibes I'm getting from that the land center that they're in. You know, shout outs to whatever land center that is. Anyway, Phoenix.
Everybody needs their niche in life. You know that could be their niche.
Yeah, you guys like serial killers? Gaming and serial killing. Excellent.
All right, so back to the game. We're just going to ignore everything you just said. It's the tier 1 tower. Looks like it'll likely be denied. Okay, there it is. 2 hits for Ziz.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe they get the fort back, so they leave it, but they had just used their fort, so.
Yep. So, yeah, talk to me about the Echo Saber. I was casting a game the other day where they went Echo Saber Deso. So Deso was a little bit later than we're used to seeing, but all right, gonna break the smoke. And you can see 11MONKEYZ does not want to go for that kill, but sadly for them, that was the only one available to them.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where it's like he breaks the smoke, you just kind of have to take him. But yeah, they thought maybe like Tiny was close to Bloodseeker. They can maybe get the Bloodseeker. A bit greedy, but. Let's them get some wards down. What was your question?
Echo Saber.
Yes. I love this because you disassemble it into the BKB and then Mage Slayer. And
Mage Slayer?
Yeah, the Mage Slayer. It applies on all of your Starbreaker procs, obviously. And also, Mage Slayer feels like a really nice item because it gives you this like magic resistance that lets you survive until you get the BKB off. And it's like a little bit of survivability too in the downtime of that BKB, which of course is an issue now that the cooldown has been nerfed fairly significantly. So, and then also it builds into Bloodthorn now. So
Echo Saber itself feels really good on Dawnbreaker though, right? It's good for farming, gets your stacks up on Luminosity, gives you mana regen, the slow procs on Starbreaker. But you think it should be disassembled most games? Yeah.
I mean, he's doing it. He's doing it here. He might rebuild into. I mean, I honestly doubt it. I feel like the Mage Slayer is just this. I think Zai was the first person that I saw do this build, and then after that, I mean, everybody started copying it.
Yeah, the debuff is exceptionally good.
It's very good. In general, it's extremely strong. I think it was underrated for quite some time.
Yep, Stoikov. Okay, they're gonna run into Ari. Gets off the avalanche, but. Sunray down with the hammer to come, and Starbreaker, gets tossed in the middle of the air, but dies anyway.
Okay. Yeah, that's a support kill right there.
Yep.
Very not hype, actually.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. The Tiny doing a very, very good job at soaking up these pretty hefty rotations. But this does mean, you're still missing your Tiny. It's a little bit of pressure on the mid tower. Kind of just chilling on both sides for now. And like I was saying earlier, like I don't feel like in Dota there are that clear of heroes where it's like, oh yeah, of course, like this hero wins late game. Like there's 25 talents and 60-minute neutral items that are crazy, and
there's a lot of different power spikes.
There's a lot of power spikes, and I feel like almost every hero in the game is extremely powerful in the late game. I mean, for God's sake.
Except for who?
Well, you think I'm going to say Pudge, but he's actually quite powerful in the late game. It's the early game when he's pathetic.
Yeah, of course. No, there was a question on who is not good.
There's probably a couple out there. Let me try to think of one actually.
Yep.
I feel like they've really buffed every. Well, hero just really falls off. I mean, I want to say like Lich or CM, but I feel like Lich gets unlimited chain frost.
What about
bounces.
Undying?
No, because you get
double tombstone.
You get 3 tombstones in Resurrection. Like this shit's crazy. You know, like
that's true.
Like Dota late game is just like anytime I hear somebody say, that this team like destroys late game, it's like I don't know, dude. I feel like you haven't played that many 60-minute games because shit breaks down, bro. Like
that's true. Well, the 60-minute games bring an entirely new thing
Yeah.
that just changes the dynamic of the game and those items. As Kadara will tank a gank. He was farming the enemy triangle. And I mean, Into the Breach had a 3k lead, which was pretty massive at that time. And it is quite even now. As Into the Roche Pit, 11MONKEYZ goes. And we'll see if Into the Breach are able to do anything about this. Doesn't look like they're gonna get here in time, although Eidolons are coming to scout it out. But this might be too late.
Quite easy to kill those little...
Yeah, but the scouting is all that matters as the outposts are getting some TPs in. Power shot to try to scout this out, but it's not going to be in time as Stoikov with the Aegis.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, I mean, Into the Breach, they're doing a good job at like running their supports into the enemy team and soaking up the ganks, right? Like, it's only the supports dying, but the question is, like, what is the timing that they're waiting for that they think they need to do this? Because, like you said, they had this 3k gold lead, right? So you'd think that a smoke would be in order and that they could, you know, more than happily you run at the enemies and kill them with it. Like 3k gold, that's like one, you know, that's an Echo Saber. That's like a 1 item advantage. That's huge in Dota. But now, you know, it's back to even, and we'll see if the power spike is that important. We got the tiny Blink Dagger. Also, Zibei on Enigma almost has his Blink Dagger. Bloodseeker, I would imagine he's got that BKB now, so there's a few timings. Supreme also almost has that BKB. So the question is, like, is Into the Breach's read on this game that these timings are so important that it's worth sacrificing their 3k gold lead? Like, they could just be wrong about that. Because like we talked about, late game Dota, you know, a hero like Visage, absolutely insane. Like, actually played as a carry these days.
But even if they're
like,
relatively even in terms of just on paper how strong they could theoretically be, maybe Into the Breach just feels confident that they will out-execute either way. Right. As I think that's probably what it is. Like, they feel like as long as it's probably the BKBs. Like, as long as they have their BKBs, they feel like they're going to win the game because they can just play the fights better without getting caught by, like, the, you know, these 2-man stuns that we've seen happening in the last few fights. Yeah. It's just they can be smarter about the fights. They're gonna smoke up the double Blink Dagger reveal incoming.
Yeah, there's no BKB on Supreme though, so this is very
Stoikov. All right, the toss back. Avalanche to follow. Bloodright's coming as well. Looks like the Aegis might get consumed here, but the Dawnbreaker gets the ult off, and Audiker just gets destroyed. And not even consuming the Aegis is now the run-in Into the Breach, retreating. Double Blink Dagger reveal. Looks like that was a failure. And Kadaro kind of getting caught, but there's the Malefice to slow him down.
the healing strats. I mean, just sitting there manning up on Lina. Doesn't even have to press the BKB. Like,
yep, all right, another toss back, this time onto the Visage. This looks like a potential kill. Sunray trying to heal him up, but BNC will fall eventually. But there's the black hole onto 3 heroes. Focus Fire takes out the Aegis. Marcy's next. Palantimos has to pop the BKB on his retreat, and Stoikov with the same, but the Focus Fire is still applying. He's just gonna die within it. Unreal. The fact that that still continues after death is hilarious. And Mary is gonna try to get chased down by Supreme. Sunray TP.
Oh, the Visage stuns, dude, the bird stuns. Okay, that was nice. That was nice. This is definitely a great advertisement for Head & Shoulders, because Zibei is completely carrying this game on his back here with that 3-man hole. And you can tell that 11MONKEYZ, they were feeling the momentum and getting very excited. They're like, all right, go, go, go. Like, these guys, like, we just killed their carry. Like, let's go dive them. And then all of a sudden, you know, this 3-man hole comes out. It also helps with the tiny toss, and it creates all of this chaos where...
Oh, yeah.
The Dawnbreaker runs in like this, right?
Oh, yeah. This is how the team fight actually went, by the way. Like, yep, just gonna black hole, take my hand off the keyboard, and drink this toxic material. Yeah. Gotta get those vitamins for the hair. It's better to ingest it orally, I think. Yeah. I think there's actually a better method than that, too. Oh, yeah. We'll not talk about that one. Know exactly what you're thinking on that one. Very familiar with that area. Yep. As he did actually, Palantimos did rebuild the Echo Saber, by the way. So does not want to go for whatever the hell you suggested. Okay. I mean, this is the build. What else can he build out of the... Like, this is what I'm saying, though. If you buy a Deso, does it become too late? Or is Deso changed to the point where it doesn't feel like... I don't want to say early game item, but like one of your first 2 pickups? Like, Like back in the day, you wouldn't want to get a Deso as your third item, right?
You know what? I feel like if you looked at the numbers in Dota, I've not done this in a lobby, but if you looked at the numbers of like purchasing items in Dota, I would actually say probably Deso is like, in terms of slot value, very high value. Like there's, you know, Bloodthorn's probably higher, obviously Rapier, but you can drop it, so there's the risk associated with that. But I actually think Deso is, because of the minus armor component, a very strong item to have in your inventory in general, even though it's a cheaper item, which is why I actually think the item has been so strong for many patches now, is the fact that it's cheap, it's an early game item, but it also, like, it's good bang for your buck late game too in the slot. Especially, as like I said, especially on towers. Like when it comes to hitting towers, like AC and Deso are,
true.
There's no better.
There's Basher now online for Odeker, who's sitting on his 8-second BKB right now. He's gonna have a smoke now from 11MONKEYZ. And Phoenix is actually just going straight. He has the
Refresher.
Philosopher's Stone. He's just going straight Refresher.
That is the build now. That is the build people are doing.
That is hilarious.
Just get 2 eggs off.
How much of your soul do you have to give up to get the Philosopher's Stone, though? Because that feels pretty good.
How much of your soul?
Yeah, I mean, Phoenix, like, a lot, you know, things cost HP for him.
That's right. I think it's just a deal with the devil sort of situation.
Oh, Ari, breaks the smoke partially. And Zubei's going to TP out.
Who's the devil of Dota? Would it be this?
Doom.
No,
100%.
no. Real life Dota characters. Would it be this Ginsu guy? Or who's the guy that works for League of Legends?
Oh, why can't I remember this?
Ice Frog's the golden god.
Yeah.
Or Gaben's the golden god. Ice Frog is maybe the, you know.
His queen.
Pendragon.
Pendragon. Production,
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, production.
Yeah, Pendragon is the hated character.
He is the fallen angel of Dota.
That's true. The Lucifer.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know about Lucifer.
I probably shouldn't have said that, as Marcy's going to get dropped here. Just called somebody a literal devil that I've never met. Okay, that's the perception, let's say. I'm not saying that myself, of course.
Yes,
to avoid all,
I mean,
you know,
yeah, I personally
action.
hate the guy, but... He's a real asshole to me at a 7-Eleven one day.
Into the breach. They've smoked up again. A couple of heroes actually show themselves, though. Looking for an opening with this tiny blink. Oh, over blink a bit, but the Avatos comes. BNC gets off the shard.
In the toss?
I guess so. That was like really...
Huh.
Maybe he got that before. Did he get... Can you toss a stoned unit?
I guess I didn't really know how that ability worked, if I'm being honest. I guess
because if you're Avalanche, you cannot use anything anymore.
No, but so it's got a delay, so he must have tossed him during the delay.
Oh, I see.
Oh, nice
focus fire,
shackle.
nice shackle shot to follow, but the Dawnbreaker ult healing up so much, and Supreme just drops 60 seconds, no buyback. These Dawnbreaker ults have absolutely turned fight time and time again.
Same with Ziz playing his Marcy. The tossbacks have been phenomenal this game. He always seems to be in the right position at the right time. It's like one of those things you don't realize. Like, he's there, right? Like, he knows this gank is coming, and he's there. And it feels like every time a fight happens, like, he was already there preempting it.
Yep, Ari is going to take the full Unleash combo with the hammer as well. As Odeker did take out Stoikov.
Yeah,
actually.
Stoikov TP'd bot. He was being a bit greedy and dies to the Bloodseeker.
I mean, those are the kind of mistakes you can't make when you're at a disadvantage in terms, like, obviously we've talked about it. First place and tied for last place. If you get the kill onto Wind Ranger, you have to follow it up with something. But
yeah, this is solo, actually.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how many levels Odeker gets from this. Let's see. Okay, one whole level as a level 19 hero. Oh, yeah,
that feels
man,
bad.
that feels bad. Because your team is making such good plays elsewhere. It just feels like a unfortunate feed. Yeah, that's rough.
And even though the momentum seems on 11MONKEYZ side, still a slight lead for Into the Breach with net worth. As the Bloodseeker is top of the game. Malefice with the Midnight Pulse and Focus Fire, but into the stone. That's going to break things up. The Focus Fire debuff is still on him. Supreme wants to continue this up, and looks like they will be able to find BNC eventually. Takes a long-ass time, though.
Yeah, that Stone Form is such a strong ability. Like, just keeping I mean, keeping any core alive for that long, like the ability to just run in and tank and just be, you know, survive with all these auras, and your birds are still effective during the stone form. But with that being, he does go down afterwards. There's plenty of damage to remove his Gravekeeper's cloak.
Oh, Ari, ooh! Rebound away, but the toss back onto the Lina. This is a much higher priority target. Dawnbreaker ult again coming in, though. Stoikov gets bursted down by the right clicks, as it looks like Palantimos might be next, attempting to get out. Power shot not going to clip, but the egg buying some time. It obviously gets destroyed there. And it's going to cost them a couple more supports, but at the very least, they don't lose the Dawnbreaker. Power shot, going to be dodged. But still, a 4-for-0 into the breach, kind of opening up the game as a result of this fight.
Yeah, I mean, this all kind of snowballed, too, from that bot death for Stoikov. Like, the Lina death solo to the Bloodseeker, that's where the Vistage pickoff happened too, or maybe the one before that, but it's just been chain feeding since then. That feels really bad for 11MONKEYZ. Like, you had a game that was totally even. It felt like they actually had the momentum, even though the gold lead was not in their favor. I felt like the next few fights were going to be theirs, but now it's totally different. Like, ITB, it's the game's firmly in their hands. I don't know how that
Shackle
doesn't
will
flash.
not connect. Focus fire is applied to him as well, as Zube still has the black hole, but obviously not going to need it, as BNC takes a tumble again.
Dude, this is still chain dying.
Yeah,
the Lina's still dead from this. Like, they've not had 5 heroes alive for like 3 or 4 minutes in this game. It is so unfortunate when this happens, because it's one of those things where, like, you can tell that there's some, you know, they're playing against a very tough opponent. We could see the pressure, you could see the tension when you looked at the player cams, especially on the Lina death. You can tell that it's like somebody just needs to say, guys, we just wait until we're all alive. Let's go, you know. Now I feel like 1 or 2 more fights for ITB going that way. It's gonna be too late to have any sort of reasonable comeback, unless, you know, we're talking about like going at, you know, 50-minute game.
Yeah.
Like, the game is in Dota, I feel like you lose 3 fights in a row and the game's impossible. Like, 2 fights, the game is hard, but you can still manage to come back. 3 fights in a row, like, the momentum is too much. It's like you're trying to stop like a rolling boulder at that point, you know?
Really? An Earth Spirit.
Going down a 90-degree slope.
Wow. Incredible.
It's like the opposite of that Sisyphus man. You know that guy?
The what?
That's Sisyphus.
Sisyphus?
When he's pushing the boulder up the hill.
Oh.
Yeah, then he drops it at the top and it just rolls infinitely. That's how Dota feels when you lose 3 fights. Is that boulder is the enemy team.
But you can always come back, Jenkins. As we're going to see the Avalanche not hit anybody this time, as the Bloodseeker gets off the Rupture. Stoikov taking the focus fire as well. Dawnbreaker ult is so good, and they're actually going to turn this around onto the Bloodseeker, but that's just the Aegis. Egg has already been consumed, but Zebe comes in with the black hole onto 2. And Mary looks to be next as the buyback on the Marcy and the Lina. Odeker trying to clean up, but gets Starbreakered, and they finally take out the pesky Bloodseeker. So they consume the Aegis, and they get the Bloodseeker. Zebe looks like he should be able to blink to safety.
At Dawnbreaker all looking amazing in these fights, especially when paired up with the... He's gonna go down. Oh, the blink was barely... Yeah, there's a few times the blink just barely off cooldown. Unfortunate for the ITB boys. That's actually... Wow! Palantimos, he's chasing Zebe. Little deep, though.
Yep, but the head and shoulders again coming in.
Yeah.
Looks like the urn. Healing him up very nicely. There we go. Thank you, production.
Delectable. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Wash that down with
Really-
ketchup.
Really quenches the thirst.
No, it does. The thirst for deadly chemicals.
8K lead for Into the Breach, but they don't have the Bloodseeker for 36 seconds, so 11MONKEYZ knocking on the door. As the fortification is...
He's out. He's like, you fucking idiots.
They might be able to get racks here. Looks like they will. So a pretty big turnaround for 11MONKEYZ. They're going to get the Dispose now. Enchantress bursted down from 100 to 0. Full set of racks for 11MONKEYZ. Is there a right slap back in this game? You can see Phoenix has that refresher now officially. So 2 eggs. Has the shard, so Sunray through the egg as well. Very, very strong.
Phoenix has put all the eggs in the refresher basket for now.
Good one.
Thank you. As, man, Man, Ziz is absolutely carrying this game, actually, with this Marcy. The constant tossbacks and constant pressure. It looks amazing. I feel like Stoikov started the game looking amazing. And then a lot of the mid game has been him getting gone on, and then his entire team saving him, and then turning the fight, which is like somebody needs to go in, right? So it's not the flashiest looking thing ever to go in and look helpless, and then your team saves you with heals. But yeah, between all the heals, the sidekick, Phoenix heals, Dawnbreaker heals, he's actually just surviving everything.
A Marcy really having impact on the game?
Yeah,
I have never heard of such a thing. 5K lead for Into the Breach. Despite losing that Rax bottom, they have smoked up now. Black Hole is now up. Let's see if they can find some high-value kills as the rest of 11MONKEYZ are in their triangle area. Into the Breach seems to have a decent idea that they're there.
Yeah, both teams know. Nobody wants to be the first to get gone on. You never want to walk up that high ground. You walk into a Visage, that's going to just be death for almost anybody.
No.
A good read from 11MONKEYZ, but also Into the Breach. It's a bit boring to watch one of these smokes where nothing happens, but of course,
yeah, that's why
he's away in smoking in real life.
Satanic online.
Yeah, even more.
Okay.
We've seen the stand there and survive strategy with the Paladin sword too.
Yeah.
This is going to be quite a lot of healing to deal with for IT.
Stoikov is doing a lot of damage now. And is there anything important that dispels? I guess Malefice is the big one.
Oh, here we go again. This hill shit. Oh my god.
And Blood, right?
Is Ziz going to jump up?
Well, the shackle onto the familiars. Not going to follow it up with much.
Ziz got the ward down, man. That's a good ward.
The avalanche. Not able to get the toss off. Instead, the dispose comes in. But Zibe again with the black hole. Dawnbreaker ult coming, but it's not going to matter. They're going to lose 2 right off the bat, including the Lina. But Palantinos, at the very least, drops Zibe. But now everybody is on the run for 11MONKEYZ. The bash is there for Audiker. They take out the position 1 Dawnbreaker. Have to ignore the egg. And the rupture will come, as that was the second egg. Mary attempting to TP. Not happening this time. A 4 for 2 with 1 buyback on the side of Into the Breach. And unfortunately for them, Roshan won't be up for a little bit. Still a few minutes away. Let's see if they can take any buildings. As you can see the replay here, big ult again from Zibe. And even though the Dawnbreaker ult's super high value, the pure damage coming from the black hole, or from the Midnight Pulse, is kind of insane.
Yeah, what is the... Is there like any healing reduction that I'm not seeing here? I mean, it feels like there's some healing reduction coming out from ITB, but there's not. It is legit just like raw damage that's getting them through these fights. They also have the Bloodseeker shard, so he's doing that percentage pure damage as well. That fight was just kind of who can overwhelm who with either healing or damage, and in that case, ITB wins. I suppose when the Black Hole comes out, you don't have the Lina with the sidekick and the Paladin sword and the Satanic also hitting, which is giving you additional lifesteal there.
Yeah. Now, Into the Breach evens up the game in terms of just the building advantage. They get the top. Obviously can't get a second Rax yet because the tier 2s still stand in the mid and bot lane.
With a quadruple creep wave for some reason on that mid lane. I don't know how the hell that happened.
Yeah, that's a pretty juicy wave there.
They're all running around in single file to get to the other side.
It's like being at the airport these days, just miserable.
The chicken trying to cross the road. But there's many chickens on the road.
Yeah, that's a great analogy, boy.
I accept.
You really topped the airport one.
What was the airport one?
Huh?
What was the airport one? I don't remember.
I said it literally right before you said that.
I was not listening. I was thinking about my chicken thing.
Nothing. If, as a great man once said, if you have to explain a joke, it's not funny anymore.
I had just said that right before.
That's right. Abyssal Blade now online for Odeker. And I mean, what do you think about the Blink Dagger on him, by the way? And has not upgraded it to... I don't know what you would even want to upgrade it to. Would you want the...
Swift Blink?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Swift Blink is good. I mean, I love the Blink Daggers in general in late game. Like, I remember, way back in the day, not that way back, I shouldn't say that because you played for 20 years, but...
That's right.
Like, 60-minute items would come out and, 80-minute games, and people would
Back in the neutral items have been around for like
listen,
a year.
I'm saying like a couple of years. I shouldn't have said that with
right.
you here. I can say like T Governor.
Back in the day.
All right, let me finish. So let me tell you about it.
Okay.
So
yeah.
you'd have people buy a Blink Dagger because the repositioning element was so worth it that it was more value than even like an additional rapier or something like that.
Right.
And this was like, I don't even know. I think there might have been like people were selling boots and stuff at that time. I don't know if there was a backpack.
I have a trivia for you. Dota 1 trivia.
Let me. Blink is good. Anyway,
Okay.
continue.
Thank you for summing it up finally. I was really waiting for you to stop talking. 2 heroes in Dota 1 you were not allowed to buy Blink Dagger. Like they literally disabled them.
Pudge
Can't
and
even
Bench.
name them. Damn it! How did you know?
Because the Pudge is one of them, so I just knew the other boring one.
All right. Good job.
Do another trivia.
Well, now you have to hold that horse.
Okay. All right.
Who is that?
Is he just under there? Is he just?
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Being able to play with that. 12k lead for Into the Breach. As Kadaro and company still waiting for, Roche just spawned recently, has the Aghanim Scepter. All right, we're going to see the Avalanche toss. Can they take out the Phoenix? They can, but the buyback comes through. Double Rupture, and Zibe gets off his Black Hole onto 2, and it looks like Dawnbreaker will fall, but buys back into the game again, but the second Black Hole coming, and Lina is dead. Solar Guardian wasn't enough, and Palanimo, so whatever the hell his name is, will die a second time. Dieback for him as the rest of Into the Breach take out the egg, and that should do it. That was a massive fight for Into the Breach. There it is. The game-winning chug.
He's very thirsty. I don't know how he's not dead.
I feel like not that much liquid would fit into that bottle.
You know why he keeps leaving his computer? It's because he's vomiting. Every time he drinks, he needs to go vomit it up so he doesn't die.
Yes, this is true. A couple buybacks, but they know that the Dawnbreaker does not have hers. As the Thunderhide is... The poor guy just left all alone. Why did they leave him?
I don't know. He expected his friends to be behind him.
All right, but this will open up Roshan number 3, and like I said, Aghanim Scepter. Which, who would take this? Bloodseekers is terrible.
It is the worst.
We have to see it though, please.
No,
come on,
no,
we
no,
have to see it.
What a waste of...
If you're up this much,
You don't want the net worth.
Please.
No, it's... Yeah, of course, Wind Ranger. Undispellable.
Oh, Visage is dead.
He's... I believe he had a gem, didn't he? Or did he lose it in the previous fight?
Wait, did he give up the Aghanims? Oh, it's on Enigma.
Wind. And yeah, the gem, by the way... Is,
I gave it to Enigma.
The gem is there. It's just hidden by the Wraith Pact. So, over... Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so...
Yep, easy.
Now it's going to be just sitting there.
So Ags is on Enigma, who just consumed it. Took a while for him to read, but it does.
That's a courier. Why is it...
Huh? You're going for the gem?
No, look at the camera. It's on him. Oh, there we go. Palantimos. There we go.
Okay.
Radiant's middle tower.
Palantimos.
Yeah, whatever. When there's two crazy black holes.
Yeah.
They also used the refresher to refresh the blink in the middle of the fight, which is very nice, by the way.
Radiant's middle
Beautiful
tower
stuff.
has fallen.
Yep, so now with the Ags, Cheese, Aegis.
Zibe's been playing out of his mind this game, which doesn't surprise me because he is high on chemicals. So very literally out of his mind. And
The higher the chemicals, the higher the MMR, so they say.
That's right. That's right. They say that a lot, I think.
What do you think of this win run gives you Invis talent?
I mean, I don't have that many thoughts towards it.
That's quite the win rate. That's actually much worse than the other one.
Really bad. I think it's a bad talent, Suns fan. That's what I think.
All right. Because I find like it in some cases when you're like focus firing, it kind of screws things up because you stop firing if you're using it right after.
You just right click again. I mean, you just don't be bad.
Yeah, but it's a weird one.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd like it.
I'm sorry about that.
Had really bad experiences.
Yeah. This game.
Please change it because I had a bad experience.
That's right. That's how balance is done.
That's
Otherwise,
right.
Silencer wouldn't be nerfed every patch.
Somebody really hates Silencer.
Silencer on the Valve devs. Bruno's out there getting destroyed by Silencer in his games.
You know, I would like to see that hero make a resurgence
No, I
as
wouldn't.
a carry
Oh, okay.
and not a support.
I don't mind that somebody at Valve hates Silencer. I think that's a horrific hero to play. I think anybody that enjoys Silencer.
Yeah, but you
a
could
real
say that about
psychopath.
20% of the heroes in Dota.
Yeah,
like
nerf those 20%.
Viper.
Yeah, put in the 6 feet under.
Okay.
Go 8 feet. Give him that extra 2 feet.
Oh wow, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
Can't do that to Meepo because he has a dig ability, so he can just get right out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And smoke from Into the Breach, looking to finish this game. They're not going to find any targets. Just maybe a little slash warding expedition of sorts.
You know,
you Blink Online.
You used to be able to pay the Gravekeeper more money to bury your relatives 2 feet deeper, so the grave robbers would steal shit from them.
Interesting. We have a rupture into the abyssal, into a death for Palantimos. 2 feet deep. Does that really dissuade them?
Yeah, because they dig 6 feet and then they'd be like, oh, there's nothing here.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But what's there to dig?
People would put rings and stuff and jewelry.
Yeah, what?
People want to be buried with that.
Why do that, though? Just keep
they're
the
very
jewelry.
greedy.
Okay, well, we're going to see the kill onto Tiny, actually, so 11MONKEYZ. Oh, we're going to see the buyback come out.
Damn, they want to end.
Yep, Zube. There's the black hole number 1. Actually gets the Marcy inside thanks to the shard. So double kill from Zube. And that is 3 dead with no buyback. And this should do it in game number 1 for Into the Breach. So it was kind of the outcome we were expecting, but maybe not in the way that we were expecting.
No. No, it was closer than I think anybody was anticipating.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
No, that's 41K there at the top, in my opinion.
Yep.
There's another
toss back. Lena, Abyssal Bladed, and brought down. Black Hole, not really needed.
Just for good measure.
Yep, GGs are called, so Into the Breach take game 1. After kind of struggling a bit, I want to say. I mean, in the laning stage, they had about a 3K lead, which is kind of massive. This guy, head and shoulders. Is it coming? There we go.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. That looks like the original flavor as well. That's good to see. Not really branching out yet.